New Haven began in 1638, and the original settlers, a group of Puritans from England, when they arrived here, decided that they were going to begin with a very organized plan. The plan is called the Nine Square Plan, and you can actually still see it downtown. The streets surrounding the green form out basically a giant tic-tac-toe board. The original colonists were led by John Davenport, who was the religious leader for the faith, and then his good friend Theophilus Eaton became the first governor of New Haven Colony, because New Haven started as a colony separate from the rest of Connecticut. New Haven's called the Elm City because a man named James Hillhouse in the late 1700s decided to begin a beautification project for the city. He did a number of things, one of which was to plant elm trees on and around the green. Charles Dickens commented that walking beneath the elm trees on the green reminded him of walking through a cathedral. I would say that one place you should really start your visit of New Haven is directly on the green. It's got a very interesting heritage. It wasn't always called the Green. It was first called the Public Square or Marketplace, and it definitely wasn't green because there was so much traffic and things happening on it. It's been the center for religious and civic life since the community began.
The green is an incredible asset that most cities don't have. I mean, it's enormous green. It's one of the oldest in the country. So walking around the green, getting a bite to eat, walking around Yale, which is a big part of New Haven's history.
In 1716, New Haven and Yale sort of formed a partnership, and it has continued ever since. In 1750, Yale built Connecticut Hall. It was a dormitory and classroom space. Nathan Hale went in, Eli Whitney went to Yale, stayed in Connecticut Hall. And so it's connected to a lot of noted Connecticut citizens. Gradually, Yale adds on to that in a whole series of buildings that were called Old Brick Row. And then Old Brick Row gradually gets taken down as newer, larger buildings get built in the 19th and 20th century. Yale's construction continues through today.
What makes New Haven unique is, one, the size, but how much is packed into a small city. In the last year and a half, we've had about 20 new restaurants open in downtown. And these are not restaurants closing and new ones just replacing them, but 20 unique restaurants opening in downtown in about a year and a half. That is incredible. I mean, that's about one a month. We've had about 35 new retail businesses open last year and a half, 350 apartments just downtown. So we have a lot packed into a very small area. You know, if I was to tell someone who's visiting from New Haven, what's the first thing you should do, is walk around New Haven, kind of soak it in, because there is a feeling here. There is a feel for kind of a New Haven vibe.
I think there's a few things actually that make New Haven unique. One is its size. It has less than 150,000 residents, so it has a very small, sort of almost like a small town feel, but with all of the amenities and accoutrements of a larger city. I think also the fact that it is home to 4 universities, including Yale University, which is obviously internationally recognized, lends a certain vibe to the city that again is unique from other places. The Knights of Columbus Museum is one of the fabulous attractions here. Frequently their exhibits are highlighting works that have never been outside the Vatican. So unless you've been to the Vatican, you wouldn't have had a chance to see a lot of the things in their exhibits. If you're into the arts, there's the Schubert Theater and Long Wharf Theater, and of course the great museums at Yale University like the Peabody and Yale Center for British Art, and the list sort of goes on depending on what your interest is.
And then there are a lot of things kind of outside of just downtown. If you actually go over to Lighthouse Point Park, which is right on the Long Island Sound, a lot of people that go there say, I can't believe this is New Haven. There's this huge carousel out there, there's a splash pad, which is essentially this water park, and that's right on the water, and you feel like you're in this beach town, and you don't realize this is actually New Haven. So that's kind of a neat thing. And then there's East Rock Park and Edgewood Park, so there's a lot of parks as well. So I think there is a little bit, of something for everyone.
For someone who's interested in living in a city, New Haven has pretty much everything that you might want from an urban environment. All different sorts of neighborhoods, for one thing.
New Haven itself is very diverse. A large section of the population is African American, a large section is Latino. So, I mean, and that's really speaks to New Haven's strengths, that it is a real diverse place.
I was 11 years old when my family and I moved from Puerto Rico to New Haven. I like that for myself and for my children, that for them to be able to experience different cultures, for them to be able to interact with different people, and that's one of the things that I love about New Haven, that being so diverse, my kids are exposed, as well as I am, to many different cultures, and we're able to learn about the world without stepping out of New Haven.
Oh, New Haven is a fun town, and it's a sort of town where people really want to enjoy themselves and to have fun.
You could make an argument that Boston is a more exciting place, and I think a lot of people would in New England. But you know, I mean, behind Boston, I would say, you know, I don't think any city in the state has anything on New Haven. I mean, I would take it over any, maybe even Boston.